There we go. Good morning, everyone, or afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world when you get to watch this. My name is Terza Ekholm, and welcome to Ask Me about Anything in AI, my open office hour. But today in particular, I'm switching the topic to, well, let me just get right into it. Hang on here, we're getting more people in. Quite nice. Welcome, Nadine. Okay, I will go ahead and get started. So, last week we talked about AEO, Answer Engine Optimization, how AI is changing what it means to show up online. So, I told a story about how when people ask AI things like, uh, who's the best stained glass AI studio near me, the AI doesn't scroll through links anymore. It answers, pulling from trusted, structured sources.
Oh,
That's AEO, helping your business be understood and recommended by AI itself. But this week, we're going one step further because if AEO is about helping AI understand your answers, then GEO, or Generative Engine Optimization, is about helping AI represent you accurately when it speaks on your behalf. So I'll share a little story. Imagine an artist named Maya. She sells watercolor prints on Etsy, posts every week, has a loyal little following. One day her friend asked ChatGPT, "Who are some new watercolor artists creating nature-inspired work?" The AI lists three names. None of them are Maya. She's talented, she's consistent, but to the AI, she's invisible. Why? Because there's no structured website, no verified identity, no connection between her story and her data. She's real, but digitally unseen. That's what GEO fixes. GEO makes sure that when AI is mapping the world, building its mental map of meaning, you're on it, not as an ad, not as a backlink, but as a real, verified human source of knowledge and experience. So here's what's actually happening. Most of us grew up with Google. You typed in keywords, you got a list of links, and whoever did the best SEO got the clicks or paid for ads. Now people ask AI models, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, Grok, Meta, a lot of them. These tools don't just list results, they generate answers. They summarize, synthesize, and decide what's trustworthy. That's Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO. So, in the old world, you optimized for Google. Now you optimize for AI engines. AI isn't impressed by ads or keywords. It's looking for credibility, consistency, and human authority. So if AI is going to mention you or your product, it has to recognize you as a voice, not just a link. I'll pause here for a moment to let's let Marcy in. All right. So why this breaks the old affiliate model? Affiliate and network marketing systems were built on three things: cookies, funnels, and SEO. But AI doesn't click links. It doesn't carry cookies. And when it sees 1,000 identical pages, it ignores them all. So, yeah, affiliate links and network marketing is toast, unless each person builds their own verified home base. So, the fix is simple. Create a tiny digital hub, your own site, not your company's clone, not a link tree, a real space where your voice and experience live. That's how GEO sees you, not as a copy, but as a signal of trust. So here's how it actually works. When someone asks an AI, what's the best natural supplement for focus? The AI doesn't look for affiliate IDs. It finds real stories, real data, real humans. If you've written something like My 30-Day Experiment with Lion's Mane, which is an herb to help you focus, AI can surface that because it's authentic, verifiable, and human. So we're really moving from selling to signaling. Instead of chasing clicks, start sending signals. Tell your story. Share what worked. Use structure, schema, context, metadata so AI can understand. Own your domain, your name, your content. Be your own authority or the authority of what it is you want to share. The affiliate model isn't dead, it's evolving. We're moving from selling to signaling, from funnels to trust maps. If you want to stay visible in the AI age, get your own website, write one piece of content that's 100% you, and link to your offers transparently and proudly. So if last week was about getting your answers right, this week is about making sure AI knows who's speaking. Because as AI starts surfacing people instead of pages, you'll want to make sure it can find you. All right, I'll open it up for questions before I go on to the next part.
Yeah, so how do you do that? You
Make sure
go
you have
into,
your own website.
yeah, but I
Make
can't
sure,
put anything in my website.
then you need to have a person who will do it for you.
Okay. But I've got
They,
lots of things in my website, but
as
that's
long as it
not
lets at least one of them be in your voice.
meaning like a recording.
Even meaning like text. So Peggy tells her story in a text. I wrote this book because I did this because, and this is the results you're going to get when you work with me. I'm
Okay.
tossing things
Sure.
out, but
Yeah, so on the website you just have that. Okay.
that's a good start. That's definitely a good start. If you have FAQs as you're building your business and people start asking you the same questions, make sure you put your FAQs in there. So it's about positioning you as the voice of authority. So I'll
Question.
share a couple.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead, Mark, please.
I'm kind of assuming you're going to talk about it, but would you use an LLMs.txt file for some of this?
Yes, exactly right. So I
Okay.
wasn't actually going to mention that this morning, but yes, you're exactly right. I'm keeping this beginner friendly, but that's what one of the things you would need. Have
Okay.
you done that in yours, Mark?
I have, and I also am, you know, understanding the cycle of those refreshes with the engines. And so for LLMs, if I'm going to try and pitch an LLM to somebody, the text file, I understand that the future is uncertain about when those engines will come in and start reindexing content. But I do understand that unlike SEO, where engines are constantly checking your content, or you can influence them to look at it, um, LLMs is we're really not on a scheduled system yet. It's just whenever the engine decides to go ahead and take a snapshot of the world. So I can't use it for product sales, time sensitive things, but I can use it for content that doesn't change usually,
Yes.
like product manuals and things like that.
Yes, you are correct, Mark. And yes, the landscape will shift. We don't know the rules yet. I think we're kind of building them along with AIs as we go. So this is brand new. This is brand new stuff, folks. This is cutting
Yeah.
edge. So
What's LLMs?
large language model. So large language model. That's the Chat GPT. That's sorry, Meta. That's Grok. That's Perplexity. Those are all called large language models because they're trained on a large data set, and they learn how to respond to you in language.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And
Thanks,
I have
Lois.
another question.
Go ahead, Peggy.
Okay. So would I go into chat and tell them, well, I don't know what to tell them, but go into Perplexity, go into Gamma, go into all the different, either put in the book or, um, in other words, I'm looking at how you get the GEO to recognize you. I want to boost it to recognize me, right? Let me help it along.
Well, you want to put on your website, say top 10 questions from your book or top 10 questions that your book answers.
But not putting that in Perplexity or chat or any of that.
It doesn't really work that way. No, you need to put
It's
this
got
on
a
your
hunt on
website.
it.
Now, when you make your social media posts and you refer back to your website, your social media posts will help drive attention to your website. So that's an adjunct. That's in addition to making your website findable, visible to AI.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to mention you said something about make sure the content is yours.
Mhm.
Um, I've noticed because I've generated a lot of content using AI and didn't even try to sanitize it, um, that when Google tried to pick up that information, even though all the keywords were there, all the titles are there, so on and so forth. I have a feeling that since it's all AI generated, that Google knows that and is just not going to index it. When I look at the webmaster search tools and I look at the amount of 65 pages or so that it says, yeah, we saw it, we're not indexing it. With no particular reason. The only thing I can come up with is that they can detect generated content. Do you think that's the case too?
Most definitely. Yes. Yes. You can, I would suggest using AI if you like to generate your content, but then you need to go rewrite it uh, in your own words.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when we were doing term papers back in high school.
Hmm.
If you if you just copied the text out of the encyclopedia, your teacher went ding 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 ding. But
Sure.
if you rewrote it in your own words, then it came across as yours.
You know, I've been thinking about that a lot as a as a former teacher. And so what you can do eh, right off, everybody knows, is just ask AI to make it in a more friendly voice, or, I mean, you can plagiarize and then just rewrite it.
Yes, it's very
That's
true. Yeah.
Make it more friendly, make it like a sixth grader would write it.
Yeah.
Like,
It makes sense that Google would detect that because AI only knows what it knows, and it's just a large language model. So it went out and indexed the world of websites, and then you said write an article about X, and it went to its text log and started making relationships and said, oh, I've got a bunch of content that I can write about. It's not generating new ideas. If that were the case, it would be unique, So I completely understand if Google's seen that same or similar content somewhere else, and of course it has, because the LLMs found it too. Um, so I would caution anybody, including myself, to when you're out there generating content. I like AI for coming up with ideas. So I've also noticed it's because I'm looking for work that I'm not going to let AI rewrite my resume. It'll give me ideas, but I'm not going to let it go at it, and submit to places because the other side can read it. They know it's fake too.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Most resumes are fake anyway.
Mhm.
But most resumes go through an AI first. So if it
Yeah.
doesn't make it past the AI gate of or tool of choice, you'll never, nobody will ever know about you. So it has to be from you.
Yeah.
So, and I'll just share what Hope posted in the chat because I think it's another interesting perspective. And she says you can cross do it across a couple of different models and then edit and personalize it to you. And at the
Hmm.
end, you get something unique. And
Hmm.
I'll still say though, you'll want to write it yourself. So, based on what you've learned from going across the different models. So excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Hope. So let me share a couple of little case studies. And I'm going to tell you up front, I asked ChatGPT to create these case studies. They're not real case studies, but they're inspired by other case studies I read. So I want to tell you that up front. First one, the smart roofer. So let's start with a roofer here in Colorado Springs. He's been running ads for years, Google, Facebook, even radio spots. But when someone asks ChatGPT, who's the top rated roofer near me, he doesn't show up. So we built him a simple GEO foundation, his own site with clear service areas and schema tags, a couple of blog posts, and his own voice, like what I learned after fixing 500 hail damaged roofs. Verified business info across Google, Yelp, and Facebook. Within weeks, AI tools started pulling him into local answers, not because he bought more ads, but because he taught the AI who he is. That's GEO in action. It's not about shouting louder, it's about being recognized faster. So, next one, probably more to Mark's point, the resume coach. So, next, meet Sarah, who's a career coach who helps people rewrite their resumes. She's been blogging for years, but her content was invisible to AI. We added structured data, literally tags that say, this is career advice, this is a coaching service, and here's the location. Then she wrote one piece called The Three Resume Myths That Keep Smart People Stuck, signed it under her name, and published it on her own domain. Now, when people ask ChatGPT who helps with resume rewrites for tech jobs, Sarah's insights are being quoted. Her words, her site, her name. And I'd probably add to this, write a link, if you not only put it on your website, but rewrite it as a LinkedIn article and put it on LinkedIn because that's where people who are looking for jobs also go is to LinkedIn. No paid ads, no SEO tricks, just authenticity and data structure. That's the GEO combo. And my third story is about the boutique bookkeeper. Finally, think about Melissa, a small bookkeeping service owner who helps e-commerce sellers. She didn't have a blog or a big brand, but she started posting short Finance Fridays tips on her own site, things like how to track Shopify fees without losing your mind. We added an About Me page, linked her credentials, and used structured schema. That's that linked text that Mark mentioned. So AI could read it as financial advice from a verified source. Now, when someone asks Perplexity, how do I manage cash flow from my Etsy store? Melissa's content sometimes shows up in the answer summary. That's visibility you can't buy. You have to earn it by being real and readable. So those are three examples: a roofer, a coach, resume coach, and a bookkeeper. They're different industries, same principle. When the AI knows who you are, it can recommend you. And that's where GEO turns from a buzzword into a business advantage.
Crawlable.
So I have a handout for you because it repeats these stories, but it also gives you a simple, practical step you can do today for whatever business you're in. Just reimagine that for your business, your particular business. And give me a moment while I upload that. She says, hopefully. In the meantime, what do you think? Do you ask ChatGPT for information and signals?
Have. It's Nancy. Sorry, turned off my camera. I've been Hey, buddy. I've been working with AI on trying to create the schema for my new website. So we launched last week, but we just did our handover. So I got it from the developer, who I'm happy to be done with. And it's been really interesting because I keep asking more questions. So regarding the categories my art falls into and all the different ways that, how can we better describe it? So it gave me a whole bunch of different things for attributes to be able to. And so we've created a very clean, this is what we're going to do each time for every single product. And then it gave me the instructions on what to do for each product to put it in the schema. And I said, I have over 700 products. I don't want to do this individually. How do I do this for the whole site? Oh, very good point, Nancy. And it gave me a way to do it. So, you do have to keep asking questions and keep thinking bigger picture and incorporating it. So it's not a one time and done.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Very good points. And that kudos to you, Nancy, for moving forward with your website in this new era.
Well, this is thanks to last week's call. I've
Okay.
done all this in the week. So, so
Wow.
far,
Good for you. Good for you. Ah, oh,
the
cool,
value of
Mark.
these calls.
Oh,
So
thank you.
I linked an article for you guys. I generated an article about this for my own site because it was very interesting data. Adobe, I guess, went out and did a study on last year's sales data and discovered that last year we as consumers spent about $253 billion during the holiday season, of which that was about 142 billion was on mobile devices. And what was very interesting was the amount of people who used an AI to do things like comparison shopping, and other things like that, and also their forecasts for the next year. And what I get from this is that we were already using AI last season, to look for things for Christmas and that the holiday season, and so the time to get ourselves into those shopping algorithms, so to speak, that are not just SEO is now, in the hopes that we can make it into the next index, which who knows when it's going to come, right? But it's too late for, if we were to start right now and hope for the best for this holiday season, you're only going to be SEO oriented, but not AI oriented unless your content already was optimized before. And I think the last model just came out like 2 months ago. So what I'm targeting for people who want to do something like this is next year, in the Christmas of season of next year, not anytime soon. And it's difficult for people to think like that. Marketing people typically think in quarters, right? Like,
Right.
what can we accomplish and what kind of ad spend can we do to increase our sales for this quarter? They're not thinking a year from now. So the way we pitch this to people is very different, because now you're making it a long-term investment, and you only get one shot at it. It's not like SEO where you can test the waters with an A/B campaign, and then maybe a few weeks go by and your SEO is better. You're getting a snapshot in time, and whatever you do on that date and time is all you're going to get. So it tells me if I want to run A/B tests like that, I've got to prepare for the A/B tests well ahead of time and have that content already there before the next season. Does that resonate?
Yes, although I don't know if you need to do it. I mean, I applaud you for planning for next Christmas because that's just smart. But I think we'll be able to do it quarter by quarter. So whatever you generate now, 8 to 12 weeks from now, you should start to show up naturally, organically, as they like to say.
Yeah, SEO for sure.
Yeah.
But
But you're not sure
AEO,
about the AEO and the GEO? You don't think that'll be more instant?
well, based on how often the large language models have been historically updated, you can Google that. It's not every 3 months. It's not on a regular schedule.
It's definitely not regular. I just observed that they are competing so fast that they seem to be dropping models. It appears frequently, but you're right, Mark. So, for
Yeah,
example, Gemini 3 EO was announced several days ago, and then they had to pull it back. So,
yeah, and it might turn out that as the hardware gets better and better, and was word they're investing billions in into hardware, that their ability to index will get faster and faster, and I believe exponentially faster. Some people are saying within a year or two, they'll be able to index the world's content in a matter of days, and so that's a big difference.
wow. Oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you know that you probably already know that OpenAI has incorporated shopping into ChatGPT. OpenAI has also partnered with PayPal. Now that part I believe isn't available until January 2026. But my point is, when I start looking now at things on asking for advice, shopping advice on ChatGPT, it will start to point me towards Shopify stores.
Sure.
So
Would you say that that's sort of guided intelligence, though? So, we can let AI figure out what our intent is by prompting. We can also tell AI, look at this website only when you come back with your answer. Does that seem more like guided intelligence and trained intelligence than naturally occurring intelligence?
guided for sure. It's like, so I started in this field, this whole field, the AI part of it, as an artist. And so I learned to create digital art, and then I was using AI to create art for me. And what I was observing is I might start with somebody else's art prompt, and I would make it for myself, and I go, okay, that's cool. But that's theirs, not me. And I would redo the prompt by putting in things that were important to me artistically. And I would keep doing it until it created something that I considered mine.
Yeah.
So, it, but now fast forward, we've moved from art and NFTs and all these kinds of things to, to more of the language that it's generating ex synthetic experiences, synthetic illustrations, word illustrations. Um, that's this generative part. And so it's going to go out, or as you said, Mark, it's going to take its most recent copy of the world's database and generate from there. So it's a whole new era. And I
Got a
just
quick
want
question.
people, I want people to start thinking about this. Yeah, go ahead, Robert.
So if you create something, does that mean, like you create it today, does that mean that the uh, AI model can't pick it up?
That's what Mark is saying, and not until it generates its next version. So we go from, for example, ChatGPT to ChatGPT 5 to ChatGPT 5.1 or ChatGPT 6. When the next iteration launches, it will be doing that from the latest website.
So,
Data set, sorry.
okay.
Just a quick Google search on AI model updates will reveal all of them. So Gemini, I believe, was the last one in July. And then so with their Gemini 2.0, which is getting really popular with Nano Banana and all that cool stuff that they're doing. And then before that, it was Claude 4, Opus and Sonnet, in May, which I use a lot. So who knows who's next, but somebody's going to be up here coming soon. they don't tell us what it is. But like we were just discussing, the frequency of updates is likely to get shrunk down as more hardware is thrown at this whole industry. And I know that we as a country are seriously invested into this. So this is not some fad. It's already happening and it's going to accelerate faster and faster. I just picked up AI about 3 months ago, and I'm developing applications with it now.
Oh, I
So
love that.
that little QR code you see up in the corner, that's actually an application that generates business cards, and it's an iOS app, and so it's a digital business card, and I've done that in a few weeks. So it's changing the development cycles. It's the build and test phases are coming way down. And I believe, even though right now it seems like this is not too useful for content, I mean, in the immediate future, I agree with Terza there that it's gonna come faster. It's just right now, no, it's we don't really know what the update schedules are.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Kind of like what SEO was in the beginning. We had no idea. And now we're at the point where we can influence the engine to actually take a look at our content on the fly. Some
Right.
engines will do it right away if you ask them to through an API or some plugins. If you have a WordPress website, you can actually say, "Hey, refresh my content," and it'll come into the engine that day. Um, but naturally, that is, if they're just uh, metaphorically speaking, if Google was just walking down the street and looked over at your business, that would be discovering it on its own naturally. But we can influence that and say, hey, can you look at my business?
Yes. Yeah. Flashing neon sign here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I live in Los Angeles, and um the so AI is driving by my house daily in the Waymo cars
Sure.
built by Google, the parent company being Alphabet. So these self-driving, driverless cars go up and down my boulevard like
Yeah.
daily, several times an hour, taking people from Santa Monica to downtown LA and back and forth and all around.
Hmm.
Yes.
And now
Yes.
they have vans, little AI vans.
AI vans?
Yes,
What do they carry?
people.
Oh, interesting. That's
So the
cool.
Waymo car is a self-driving, which we did some videos on it. We took the Waymo car and so forth, and the car talks to you. It was great. We asked him some questions and da da da. It was this lady's voice. I don't know. And
Yeah.
now there are certain routes where I see them, but now the Waymo vans are just like the self-driving, driverless cars, only they have an extra seat. Little blue vans that drive
Interesting.
up and down.
Oh, that is very cool. I was 5 years ago, I was hoping I would not have to ever purchase another car, that instead I could purchase a subscription.
There it is. And my
Well,
next door neighbor is 12, and I saw her the other day crossing the street to get in a Waymo to go to wherever,
wow.
shopping probably, I don't know. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. But
so
imagine she did her research. Say she was on a whim or something and she did a little research with Chat GPT or Grok or something and said, I'm looking for, XYZ. And
or
then,
Google.
or yeah, or Google. Yes, exactly. So I won't do not write Google out of the picture. So just because, and you shouldn't also stop doing what you're doing for SEO. You need to keep that. But remember, just realize That will not be enough. And I don't know what Google's coming up with next, but rest assured, they're not sitting on their hands watching OpenAI take everything. So,
Nobody's sitting on their hands.
no.
Mm-mm.
No, no, but I like the idea of at least being more uh, human oriented, and each person now needs to be an authority in what it is that they want to share, sell, etc. So,
May I ask, oh, just bringing this up, because people I meet, particularly older people, they don't even want to deal with AI. They don't know what it is or unwilling to learn. So it's going to be the younger people that use AI. Is it going to be, do you think business, I mean, I already figured business people are definitely going to be in AI, but what about the people that are doing, regular employees? Are they also, I mean, do we really see that they're going to make this move? And how are they going to actually be able to tell that AI is actually giving them better information, at least at this point, than Google, for instance, for the geo?
So Google's using AI too.
Oh, so you think Google will just pop in and be a part of the GEO?
Yeah, it's all streamlined.
Yeah, but they're not there yet.
but it will
They
be. It will
they
be.
are. They
For
are.
example, if I talk to Siri now and I gave it permission ahead of time, it asked if it doesn't have the answer to a question I give it, if it can bring in Chat GPT, and I said yes. And I don't think I've hit a question yet that it didn't have an answer to, but I don't know. So I don't know if that's seamless or just Chat GPT shows up and answers my question. But they're already together. Um,
Okay.
you'll see a lot more partnerships like that.
Okay. Well, I don't use Siri except to dial my phone, so
And
I'll
it's
have to
and
switch.
Alexa too.
Yes.
And
Again?
Alexa too.
Oh, Alexa, yeah.
It's running at the speed of light. I mean, they
Yeah.
now have you know, Optimus 2 or 3 or 4, or I don't know what level Optimus is up to now, but these are AI run butlers and that can clean your house and do these different things. And we just came back from Honolulu where they have this whole
Robot?
yeah,
Yes. She's talking about robots. Yes.
and they're like butlers. They're like clean your house.
I
Like
want one.
yeah, well, Optimus too. I think I saw them in Van Nuys too. There's stores.
There
I've heard.
are?
Oh, go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
I'm glad you asked the question. Um, what are we, what can we expect from the older generation? I will tell you, I'm not assuming your age, but somebody in my Bible group who looks to be approximately your age, he's a notary public. He uses AI in a way that makes it easy for his potential clients to reach him. He generated a QR code for his business, and he carries that. He actually printed it out. He doesn't believe in having digital cards, but he printed it out and taped it to the back of his phone. Now that's an
Mhm.
adaptation of a digital solution that was done with AI. Um, so his potential clients have at least enough knowledge to open up their phone and take a picture. And so that's really simplified the use of that AI because the camera interpreting a QR code is using artificial intelligence. So AI simply is at its core, AI has been around since the 50s. It
Mhm.
simply means artificial as in computer. Um, I would say it's always been there's always been a barrier for an older generation. It seems like the younger generations always get it first. Um, I adopted a computer when I was 9 years old and started programming then. So I was a little bit ahead of the curve because my father gave me, or I didn't say, did I say adopted? I was given a computer, a Commodore VIC-20. So I was already ahead of the curve among my peers and among my generation, the Gen X generation, way ahead, you know. But and people in the next couple generations up didn't even like cell phones. It's I'm not terribly worried about it. It's a tool, but to your point, we have to be able to explain how this new tool set can be an advantage to them. And it's not just for the older generation, it's for the current one and the next one. My difficult task is to help people understand that AI is not that stupid Alexa that can't understand compound instructions, right? Like you can't tell Alexa, hey, turn on the light in the kitchen and in the bedroom. She'll come back and she will just say, huh? And that's because she's a Gen 1 AI. Very simple. But today's AIs actually can interpret compound instructions. And as an example, if you have a chatbot, let's say for an insurance website, and you're a customer, you can ask things like, "Tell me what my current insurance coverages are. Tell me what my last claim was, and tell me what my copay account is standing at today." And that AI will break down your requests into three separate uh, routines, and then combine it all back for you to give you a natural answer that you were expecting. But people like ourselves have to guide these machines into these natural flow conversations. That's where it gets really powerful.
Exactly. And you'll need
Great.
to also be, thank you very much, Mark. That's excellent. You'll also need to be specific. So, for example, earlier this morning, I was chatting with Grok about generative engine optimization, or GEO, and we came up with some of my material for this morning. But then later I came back because I wanted some illustrations, and I asked another question about GEO, and because I didn't provide any context for it, it gave me a completely weird answer, which had to do with geopolitical. So I said, "Are
Yeah,
we talking about generative engine optimization?" And which I knew it wasn't. And it said, "Oops, my bad." So,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, the problem was not just the fact that I used a three-letter acronym. It's a greater problem that we as humans will need to be more specific about what it is we want to create. And in the case of your three-part question, Mark, you're just absolutely spot on. That's something you can do now with the LLMs, the chatbots, the AIs, that you could never do before in even a Google search. If you put that in Google search, you would get if you got an answer at all, you'd get some kind of bogus answer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Still do.
Dean, I wanted to mention, I see you're using the QR code in your background like I am. If you make it a little bit bigger, it'll be scannable. I tried to scan it and a little farther away from the edge, but I love seeing that you're using that.
Yeah,
Like,
actually, it you just have to play with it. It takes picture on my phone just fine.
yeah,
It may just depend, but for my other meetings in real estate, I can't really have too much clutter on my screen. So I have
yeah,
to
I understand.
make it as small as I can. And I don't know, most people can take a picture of it. You might have to move your phone around a little bit. But thank you.
It's right on the edge. It's like it's
Right.
blurred right on the edge. So my camera's not picking it up. But
Yes, Mark, I was thinking I wasn't going to sit here and take a picture of your QR code now, but when I go back and I post the replay, I can do a screenshot and go get it, and then I can home in on it. So,
yeah, yeah, you just scan it with your phone.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's Peggy's. She's got hers up.
Hey,
Oh,
we're already doing it. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
You guys are doing it right.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I created one for last week, and then I've already shifted gears, so I need to I need to create another one. Um, the answer engine optimization, the AEO, is already a good start, but GEO is really where we're going. So, or is already here. Uh, more to the point. So just as an action step, just go back and look at your website. And if you're using your company website, consider making a website of your own. There's lots of websites out there that will create one for you in just a couple of minutes. Even ChatGPT it'll at least give me the directions to go to another tool and create a website. So I could do it that way, but something like 10web.io, I think is what it's called. Super amazing. It'll create a website for you. You tell it what you want, and it'll create a website for you in minutes, maybe even seconds. And you don't need necessarily this big fancy website with 30 pages, right? So figure out what. So here, I'll give you another example. When I had an art studio in downtown Colorado Springs, every Friday or the first Friday of every month we had Art Walk Fridays or something, for the whole city. So people would come by, they'd come to Cottonwood Center for the Arts, and they'd walk by all the artist studios. So as each week that I was preparing for that, I would literally stand at the door of my studio and look into the studio and imagine what is it that I want the people who come in here to experience. So I would imagine them walking, in a particular pattern to look at my different pieces of art and where I would station myself so I could answer their questions. Or I'd have little bits of information over here, little bits of information over there. So I suppose it was my IKEA moment, but I didn't know about IKEA then. So, but imagine that now for your website, as you're just thinking about it. When a person clicks on my website, what is it that I want them to see? Or what is it I think the question that I'm answering for them, the solution I'm providing for their problem, what do I want them to see? What do I want them to experience? And it doesn't need to be some big fancy video thing, unless video making happens to be your craft. So, um, so just keep that in mind. I want people to, oh, anyway, sorry, that was my point. Peggy, to your other question about older people, actually, a lot of older people are getting into this space. So there's a 69-year-old I know of who's already making $1 million business. I don't remember what it is he does, but not all older people are ignoring this. And those that might think that they are, there are tools coming into their space that are helping them unbeknownst to them. So, um, my dad he uses the Alexa. He used it, he uses it to remind him of his appointments. He uses it to keep track of his medications. He does use it for question and answers, and he uses it to run the lights in your house, to Mark's point. Uh, but a couple of months ago, or maybe it was only a couple of weeks ago, Amazon updated the software, and he was frustrated for a whole week because all the commands he'd put in there, it pretended not to know. So eventually that something got fixed, and so when he came into the bedroom and said, "Turn on the bathroom light," it just did it. Whereas before he'd say that and he would say, "I don't know what you're talking about." Yeah.
Oh.
I will also add that my husband and I have been watching Amazon Prime lately, and actually specifically a subscription within Amazon Prime. But my point that I was getting to is that they do show these ads. And I was amused to see that whatever the ad was about, there was a little thing right in the bottom left corner that says, if you want to buy this thing, all you have to do is click this link or scan this QR code. Dang. So
Yeah, that targeted and behavioral tracking has been going on since the early 2000s. and it just keeps getting better. It's absolutely spooky because Alexa hears everything, even though she may not respond. Um, she's listening unless you push that privacy button. And it's amazing, if you start looking for something, that it'll start appearing. And by the way, even if somebody in your house is looking for something, it doesn't even have to be on your own device. So I sometimes see things on my devices that my wife was looking for on hers. Maybe though, when I'm not around, she's telling Alexa, when Mark's here, make sure he's looking at these ads.
Oh, Mark, I want a new pair of whatever, shoes.
Exactly.
I need to upgrade the watch.
The next time I can't find my phone, could I just yell out, "Hey Siri, where are you?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it'll tell me I'm
I
in the
do that all
kitchen.
the time.
Oh,
And that's
really?
why I don't put her on mute anymore.
Try
And if
that.
you get a speaker, one of those home pods, she can be out of reach of your voice, and she will still tell you where she is.
Oh,
How does that work?
how
Well,
did
because
you
it's
do?
through the Find My app.
Oh, that's right. Yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes.
What's it through?
Find My. So if you have an Apple
Oh,
device and you have Find My turned on for your device, and your other devices are on the same account, you can ask Siri, "Hey Siri, find my iPhone 15," and it'll. Sorry, you'll need to check for their location to find my iPhone app. Yeah. So
See,
Oh,
turned off.
it'll ping your phone too.
always listening.
Always listening.
Yeah, so last year when I left, I lost my phone in the airport. Actually, what happened was I left it in the restroom. Um, and I was already, in the baggage claim area. But so I had to ask security to let me back in. But what I did was, since my watch was connected, I used my watch to find the phone. So when I got to the restroom, I clicked it again and it pinged my phone, which luckily was still there. So yeah, and another time when I lost it in the airport, it was a rough time, that particular time in my life. Um, I did the same thing, and all I could see was it was still in the airport. And it was drove me crazy. I couldn't figure out where it was. Well, eventually I found it. It was at the airline counter.
Mm.
Um, and they said, "Oh, you." And I went, "What?" And they said, "Somebody kept pinging the phone and we didn't know what to do. So we had to put it in the back room."
Oh no.
Oh no.
So,
I don't know if it's an automatic setting or I did it at some point, but whenever I left my iPhone in a store last week, and when I was getting in my car and started my car, my watch told me that I had left my iPhone because it went 25 feet away from it or something. And it
Yeah.
automatically sent an alarm to my watch telling me that I left my iPhone behind.
Yes,
So,
that is automatic, and it's done through Bluetooth.
yeah,
yes, yes, yes.
it's
So,
great, but it's creepy in a way.
but there'll be more things like that, and that's why I'm saying AI is here and it's entering all parts of our lives, even things we didn't even think about.
So circling back to when I came in at 12:30 and you guys were already in discussion, were you talking about the web searches and so forth? SEO is not enough anymore. We have to use AI to enhance that. I really missed out on that. That sounded interesting.
Yes, so look at last week's recording and then this week's recording when I put it up, Dean, because
Yeah.
um there's last week I talked about answer engine optimization, so making sure you put some content on your website that positions you as the expert. And then this week I talked about generative engine optimization, which is doing SEO plus AEO and including some schema like Mark was talking about earlier on your website so that AI can find you because people are using conversational prompts now to look for things.
Wow.
I would think for your market, Dean, that the LLMs are going to be very useful. You tell me, what's the cycle on a sale from getting it to selling it, roughly?
You mean from, say, getting a listing to actually closing?
Yeah.
Anywhere from 90 to 120 days right now.
So if you had LLMs for every one of your properties, and if you left those properties up even when sold, right? Which I assume you are. Sorry, here's a property I sold. You're going to start to develop some patterns for those LLMs, right? That people looking. So in our area, in city of Santa Ana, there's certain neighborhoods that are sought after, like Floral Park is is the the rich people's area. It'd be like the Beverly Hills of Los Angeles or Bel Air or whatever. It's not a city; it's a section of a city, and I can't tell you how many, high level real estate agents would love to have that area. But if someone's looking for homes available in Floral Park, you can help guide them there with your LLMs.txt file, in addition to your SEO and what she's talking about. Terza's talking about AEO, um, which is a new concept to me.
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting, Mark. I'd love to talk to you like offline about that because I haven't even thought about using an LLM, except for writing my listing descriptions and so forth. But we do have to, when something is sold or closed, we do have to pull it off the market and pull it down.
Oh,
That's kind of a dirty trick in commercial real estate that even when something's sold, it's not as regulated as residential. And these realtors will leave the properties up and it's just a waste of time for everybody else searching for a property that they don't have a chance of buying because it was sold 6 months ago, but the property's still up, and so residential is pretty regulated, but that is really intriguing. I never thought of using LLM, beyond the description and listing process and writing some of my marketing.
Yep. Yep. So you'll want to, we had some good discussion earlier, Dean, and Mark gave out some great tips in addition to my presentation. So you should be able to get some really good stuff.
Yeah, did I are we starting earlier? I've missed a few weeks. I've missed all of you guys.
Oh no. So a few weeks ago, I think about a month ago, I shifted from 10:30 Mountain Time to 10 o'clock Mountain Time. So
There
10
we
to
go.
11 a.m. Mountain
I
Time.
haven't been here. I haven't
Okay.
been here okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
apologize.
Terza, did you send out a copy of your last week's show? Oh, okay.
She
No,
did.
no.
I didn't
Oh, you
receive it.
didn't? Okay.
Yes, you did not because I didn't send it out and I was remiss in that. And I apologize. I think I put the video up on YouTube, but then I didn't finish the email that goes along with it. So it's been a busy week. I really wanted to spend some time learning about this AEO plus the GEO so I could bring it to you guys. So I will get these things out this afternoon for all of it for everyone. So um so on that note, oh, I will post for those who came in late. I did put in a hang on, I'll post it again. The a handout for everyone who came today. I'll put a link to it in the email as well. Just it's got a couple little stories and a couple of actions you can take for yourself for your business or what you're doing. So at least to get started and begin to understand this. So, and or if you're not the one running your website, give this to whichever tech person is doing it. So, sh thank you, Hope. All right. On that note, I thank everyone for coming.
Wait,
You've been absolutely splendid. It's been wonderful to see you, and we'll meet again next week and continue this discussion. and I will expand upon it so that we can all learn and grow together. And if you know someone else who would like to know about this, do please invite them. So again, I'm Terza. Thanks, everyone. Have a fabulous week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.